Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Crap Storm of Alliance War Season 9. Today we're taking on MCOC Plus, MCOC 4-star All-Stars. Got one of my test teams left over from the off-season still in there because we haven't done war in quite a while. We pretty much all took the off-season off. I think we ran one or two wars just to kind of stock back up on resources, and really Alliance War is such a drag. Nobody really wanted to do it, so... Alright, first up, I'm taking my typical path this season. We've got a Daredevil OG, Poison Bleed Immune. Blade not the best matchup on this specific node because a lot of Blade's damage relies on being able to bleed. However, Daredevil is a very easy opponent. I just have to worry about when my parries run out, try and keep him cycled on the special one. I considered going in with Void here. But I would have the class disadvantage, and in addition, I know that I was going to need Void for pretty much every other fight on this path, except for one, I think. I don't know if actually, let me think here. I don't know that I used Blade again, actually, so I kind of just wanted to get him out of the way and conserve as many potions and as much as my health as possible. And as you'll see coming up, that was probably a smart thing in foresight because I will need a lot of potions today. So this 6-star Daredevil just seems to be lasting forever, and it's really you can see here how much of Blade's damage is really dependent on the bleeds. You've got the guaranteed bleeds on the S1, you've got the shorter bleeds on the S2, and you've got the really long powerful bleeds on the S3, but this is just kind of an exercise in endurance, just pull off a little cheeky intercept there at the end there to get him over a bar power, and down he goes. Didn't take a hit, so that's good. Wouldn't have mattered if I did, because Blade is pretty much done for the day now. So, alright, next up we have a Red Hulk on the Power Start 1 Plagued Mind Cornered node. Always use Void on this node because the debuffs don't count as cornered nodes. He throws the special one right away, which is great. Other than that, I fought Red Hulk on this node before. He's pretty tanky. Sometimes it's a 6-star. This is just a 5-star, though, so you can see his health is dwindling pretty quickly here. At one point, I think midway toward the end of the fight, somewhere in that range, my dex fails, which is, at this point in the game, you can't even get mad because it is what it is. Stuff is broken. They're not going to fix it, so you're just going to have to live with it. So yeah, you'll see Void. I try and dex back just to avoid an easy medium, and Void just stands there. Fortunately, Red Hulk for some reason only hits me twice, rather than laying into me with a full 5-hit combo. And I do have the Incinerate immunity, so I don't get the extra damage from the heat charges, which is also good. I think it's right here. Yep. Right there. Come on, there we go, right there. So Dex fails. He nails me twice. I'm trying not to push him to his S2. And I've got Fear of the Void, so the degen has kind of dropped off until I get some more debuffs up. He finally throws his S1, and there we go, down he goes. So a little irritating that I have to use a potion this early in the war, because I know I'm going to need more later. But again, you can't even get mad. Everybody's having these problems. My OG Daredevil got a kill in this war. So, they must have had... The other team was having the same issues that we were, so... Alright, this is the next day. Boosting up as usual. I think I do a lesser champ, lesser attack, lesser health. Cabana started adding in the boosts to the one-day Alliance events, which is really great. That's an excellent change. So, at least during the off-season, I can kind of stock up some more. So I don't think I've fought a MODOK on this node before, but I did bring Ghost Rider for the Danger Sense, which should help against Buffet. It should also help counter that the Flux and the Auto Block a little bit. My strategy against MODOK is really, as soon as I push him over an S1, I always back off no matter what. Because if he Auto Blocks in the middle of your combo, he will always fire that S1 and you're going to get nailed. I also am holding my specials, you'll see, and the reason I'm doing that is because he can auto-block mid-special, and if you do that against your S2, he has a good chance to counter you. So taking advantage of the infinite parries on this node, the lengthy bleed and the lengthy stun also to go ahead and get my damage in that way. So if I hit into his auto block, I would usually back off. Now here, I was worried that he was just going to sit there, which is a really great MODOK bug that's been happening lately, and that I was going to time out because he would just sit there and block and not attack. But fortunately, that didn't happen, and he goes down really without an issue. All right, this is the Explosive Personality Aggression Armor node, and as we see almost every war, it's an Infinity War Iron Man. So the strategy here has not changed, will never change. It's bait out the heavy, and then heavy counter with Void, and then pretty much just let the degen do its work. Now, other than that, nothing really going on with this fight. This particular AI profile that I got with Infinity War Iron Man today, he seemed reluctant to throw his heavies toward the middle and end of the fight. And it really didn't matter to me. The only thing it does is it causes me to take a bit more block damage. And I've said before, I always try and parry, even though you can't parry his initial medium, I always try and parry anyways because it reduces the damage even further. But you'll see he'll hit into my block a few times and then back off, come back in, hit in my block, back off. And I'm not worried that I'm going to time out. I know the degen will do its work, especially once I get Fear of the Void up. And I'm holding all of my specials so I don't trigger the auto block and the Explosive Personality. So you see here, he just doesn't want to cooperate here. So I'm taking a little bit of block damage, wasting time, but that's one of the great things about Void is even when you are not actively attacking your opponent, you are always damaging them, which is one of my favorite things about him and why I pretty much mainline him in War. Until they raise the timers, getting in as much damage as you can is critical, especially with some of these nodes and matchups coming with the introduction of champs like Havoc and Mr. Sinister and annoying defenders. It's getting tougher and tougher to do enough damage within 3 minutes. So I really, really hope when they come out with the Season 10 changes next season that they address the timers in the upper tiers of War. Even 4 or 5 minutes would be fantastic change. I think they changed the timers to like 15 or something in Map 7, but we don't want Map 7, so I'm not really sure about that. Anyway, Iron Man goes down, and now we have what I thought was going to be a Mr. Sinister on the Arc Overload recovery node, but I punched it into the calculator and it was a Havoc. And this is like, this alliance we were facing, man, they have like 1 or 2 Havocs in every battle group now, and this is, this is the new AW meta, a champ that requires, 1 or 2 or 3 specific counters to defeat. You either have a Vulture, or you get lucky with a Venom, or you have an Angela ranked up, or you're just going to take plasma damage, and that's just the way it is. So I'm kind of at an extra disadvantage here because Void's special attacks are energy damage based, so I'm just going to be giving him more plasma charges here. My only hope really is to just degen him down and reverse the Arc Overload before he kills me. I did get a Petrify up first, which is great. Other than that, I'm trying to just back off a little bit. Again, it's really just a race. Who's going to kill who first? I did put that combat regen on at the start of the fight. My thinking with that was that if he got a detonate up early, I could kind of mitigate some of the damage, but it really didn't end up doing anything for me. So, baiting out the heavies. So far, it's looking pretty good until I mistime this special one. So now we're roughly even. He detonates me and takes off like 10 or 12% of my life. This stuff is just killer. I nail him with an S2. He immediately throws a special attack and gets the degen on him. And now I think I've got it in the bag, and there we go. So it was pretty close. I think using the S2 once you have the 3 unique debuffs up is a pretty decent strategy on that node. Other than that, it's just, hope and pray. So, So coming down from the high of that fight, I guess, is this Sabertooth. I fought him a bunch of times here before, and I haven't reviewed this yet, so I'm watching it kind of play back for the first time with everybody who's watching here. But I'm pretty sure towards the end of the fight, my Petrified doesn't stop the power gain from Strike Back. So I'll launch, you'll see toward the end of the fight, I'll launch my S3, and he's got, if I remember correctly, like a bar of power. And when I come out of the S3, he's got an instant S2, and then ends up nailing me with it and killing me. Spoiler alert. But so he hit me with the S2 early there. Willpower mitigated a lot of the bleeds. I'm stuck in the corner, trying to get out, trying to get to my S3 to create some space while, I'm wary of hitting into his block because I know there's, yet another bug with the block breaking. All right, so right here, he's got just over a bar of power. Let me call in Sentry for some backup, trying to get out of the wall. And boom, he gained just a bar. So the Petrify didn't really do anything. The bleeds from the S2 kill me. It was probably just a mistake on my part. I don't know. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if that was a problem with the node. But so I healed up Void, went back in. He actually lasts a bit longer than I thought he would on just, 10 or 15% health because of that regen. At least until I get the debuffs going. So not really worried about it at this point. I didn't heal up Void to full because I knew that I could, finish this fight pretty easily. So just trying to bait out one more special, and I think that should about do it. So I push him to an S3. What was that, 3 times? This time I actually block the rocks, or I'm sorry, dex the rocks and block his leap there. So, all right, so we did end up winning this war. They left a lot of our defense up, actually. So similar to last season, our defense held pretty well. I thought I'd do something a little bit different for the end of the videos this season. Just kind of track my resource usage, my death count, and our overall season record like this. So I needed to use almost half my stash of L4 potions today. And then I died once to the Sabertooth, but we did take the victory. So, all in all, good start to the season. It was looking pretty iffy at the beginning of the war, but we pulled it out in the end. So tune in next time, and thanks for watching.